This demo is going to be talking a little bit about how to do a rotoscope video with the new Photoshop CC, some of the changes and ways that you can use both your frame view and your timeline view to create an animation. First thing we're going to do is go into Photoshop, and I'm going to file, import, go video frames to layers, a video that I have. So I'm just going to I had one that I used from Photo Booth, and I'm just going to bring it in. Now, you can bring in the whole thing. You can bring in a range. In this import videos to layers window, you can change these things. So I'm going to choose range. I'm going to move these little sliders here so that I only import a little bit, so I can kind of see what I'm going to be working with. Not a ton of the video, but enough. If you have too much, it may be problematic. Too much work to do there. You can also limit to every X amount of frames. I try to start out with and see if you feel like that's good. You can always go higher. Basically, the higher the number, the less frames you're going to have. So if that was 5, I may only have 5 frames or 2 frames or whatever. Well, probably not 2, but fewer frames. So I'm going to hit OK. You can see right now I have 12 frames. All right, and that's partially because I chose a really short portion of that clip. So you can see what mine looks like. All right, a couple things. Right now I'm in frame view. How frame view works is if I click on frame 1, it's playing layer 1. If I click on frame 2, it's playing frame 2. Right? So what I could do here is go into frame 1, click on layer 1, and I could draw. Right? So maybe I want to trace my face. Right, so I'm not going to do a phenomenal job here. Just kind of a quick demo of it. All right, kind of get the basic information that I know I need. And looking pretty good there, right? So I've actually drawn onto that layer. Now, you don't have to draw directly on the layer. And obviously there'd be some problems with doing that or with not doing that. So you could create another layer if you wanted to. I'll show you that in another frame. So right now, I have frame 1 drawn onto. I go to cell 2, and then I'd want to work with layer 2 and then kind of redraw what I'm doing. Now, in this case, I'm going to show you what it looks like if I create another frame. I'm sorry, not another frame, but another layer. To work on. So in this case, now if I do mess something up, I can easily just delete what I did. So say I draw over my face here, all right? And again, I'm doing this on cell 2, frame 2, however you want to look at that, all right? Okay, so I do a little drawing, and let's go look at what's going on here. Back to frame 1, I have both of these cells showing. What happens is when you make a new layer, it's going to turn on every single layer. So even on this one, or actually, maybe it doesn't on every, no, it is, but it's being covered up. So on frame 9, it is showing that layer, but it's being covered up by another one. So I guess you wouldn't have to necessarily turn them off, but it is going to turn them on the first cell. So what I'm going to do is go back, turn it off on cell 1, and then say, okay, I want this on when I'm working with cell 2. Okay, and you can title that 2.2 or something, or call layer, if you made another one for layer 3. So you want to go back to frame 1, turn off, your new layer you made, and then go back to frame 2 and turn it on. So if I was going to 3, I go here, make a new layer, maybe that one's 3.3, all right. I do the new drawing stuff here, blah, 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 just kind of save, for time. And I go back to cell 1, turn it off there, go back to cell 3, turn it on there, all right? Now, what's the benefit of this? Well, now if I mess something up, I can just delete this layer. You could also, real easily, you can make 2 layers here and just, boom, then I can fill this thing really easily as well. So, some of the benefits there. I guess you could do that a bunch of different ways, but if I then obviously it becomes a problem there, so I have to go turn it off. So that is a possibility for you if you wanted to do it that way. The other thing is once you start working in frames, you can go to timeline, but it kind of changes stuff. So right now, if I'm at frame 1 and I go to layer 1, layer 1's 100%. All the other ones are turned off. When I switch to timeline view, what's actually going on is I was trying to figure this out because I can see all my video and I can see it still down there. So this is each layer is represented now by a purple layer. Well, what's going on here is if I go to I don't know, cell 1, look at layer 1's 100%. If I go to cell 2 or frame 2, layer 2's 100%, layer 1 is 0, and all the other ones are 0% opacity. So basically, the layers have been turned off unless we want to see them at that spot. So that's kind of what's going on in those cases. This view is good. depending on what you're trying to do. You know, for me, I think this one's probably easier if I wanted to do like something different every cell or, you know, every frame. And what I would do here is go layer, video layer, new blank video layer. And what I can do then is just draw straight on to this thing. Okay, so, and what happens here is, all right, I draw that. Okay, again, not going to get crazy here. But when I go advance forward, it's not there, and I can just keep drawing. I can redraw without having to work with layers. Really, I have to make this one video layer, but everything else is just, just gonna kind of be a reference. Then the other thing that I like to do here is I'll create another regular layer. I'll put that one underneath my video layer. I'm just gonna kind of zoom out here so I can make sure everything's the right length. You can see right there, it's like way long. That's just because my video is real short here. Okay, so I'm gonna zoom in. And on this layer would be a great layer just to put a background color. And why is that not showing? There we go. Okay. So you can see there's the nice thing there is, okay. And if I didn't want that, I could easily turn that off. I can turn it off as I'm drawing. So that's kind of the benefit. Now, again, you can bounce back and forth, and you can use these things. Another thing that I thought was kind of cool was, all right, say I went to cell 4, and I think that's probably correlated with maybe layer 4. Oh, layer 5. Well, I guess it's frame 5, rather. I can do filters on here, too. So I can go filter, make sure I'm on the right thing. All right, let's go ripple, something that's obvious. And then I can actually use filters in there, and then you can see it only applies to that one layer, which is kind of nice. So it is possible to work those two different animation types, you know, in. If I go back to frame view, the one thing is it's going to start converting layers and doing weird things. It's not a huge issue, but it did keep my animation stuff, I think. Did it? Let's see. I don't know that it did keep my animation stuff there, but what I was going to say is, let's see, did it? No. So it doesn't keep that animation stuff going here. What is kind of interesting, though, is now look at all your cells are all turned on. So if I went to cell 4, frame 4, and now all my layers, or the eyeballs for my layers are turned on. So if I went to 3, that opacity is just turned on. But on 4, it's 100. So I think that's just something interesting to think about. Really a lot of different ways you can go about this, kind of figure out what's best for your animation style.